Okay, welcome to the Chapter 16, Section 2, the Cash Receipts Journal presentation lecture. Please make sure that you have the notes for Chapter 16 so that you can follow along and get the notes copied down for reference for studying for the second section of Chapter 16. So let's go ahead and get started, and let's talk about and see what this Cash Receipts Journal is all about. The Cash Receipts Journal, as with the Sales Journal, is going to be a specialized journal which we are going to record only cash receipt transactions. And because of the cash receipts transactions that are going to be recorded, we can then break this down into only a certain number of columns that are going to be needed in order to properly journalize one of these transactions. So what we are going to have, we already automatically know that we assume when we have a cash receipt, we have a cash debit. So we know that we have a cash debit, so the question then becomes is what do we credit? Well, we record the credits to the account for which there is no special column. So if it's not a sale, if we do not have a sales tax payable, if we do not have accounts receivable credit, then it's going to have to go as a general credit. The second column, the sales credit column, record the amount of merchandise purchased by customers using cash or bank cards. So whenever we have a sale, we're going to put it here. Record the amount of sales tax collected on cash or bank sales. Right here, there is the tax that we are going to be charging. Record the payment from the charged customer. Right here, account receivable credit. And then if there is a discount, that'll get recorded in the next column over, sales discount debit. And then finally, the total, which is the cash debit, that is the amount that is actually received from the transaction. So that's the Cash Receipts Journal, that's the parts of it, and those are the columns that are utilized to journalize receiving cash transactions. Recording cash from charged customers, let's take a look at this transaction. We have a receipt from Casey Klein, one of our customers who just paid us $212. So for this one, we'll put in there the date, December 5th, 2000, current year, so 2017. The document, which is going to be our receipt 301. The account name, which is the account receivable customer, that is Casey Klein, that is here. And then we have the numbers for the transaction. This is an account receivable credit of $212, cash and bank debit $212. Again, just like any other journal transaction, the debits have to equal the credits. Recording cash received on account when there is a discount that needs to be applied. So on December 12th, On Your Mark received $1,470 from South Branch High School Athletics in payment of sales slip 51 for $1,500, less a discount of $30. Receipt number 302 is a source document. So here we would put the date. In this case, it is the 12th. The document number, which is going to be our source document, is R302, receipt 302. The account name, this is the account receivable, South Branch High School. It is account receivable credit of $1,500. That's the amount from the sales slip. We have a sales discount of $30 and total cash received then of $1,470. So these are the things that we have to analyze in regards to the transaction clue and the source document to properly transact this cash receipt. Now, if we have cash sales, on December 15th, On Your Mark records the cash sales for the first 2 weeks of December, which is $3,000 and $180 in related sales. And the tape 55 is going to be our source document. So the date is the 15th. The document number is T55, which stands for tape 55. The account name is going to be Cash Sales. There is no post reference yet because we haven't posted anything. The sales credit is going to be $3,000. That's the total amount of sales. The total amount of sales tax is $180. Therefore, total cash received, $3,180. So based off the tape and the transaction clue, gives us all the information that we need to properly transact this. Let's take a look at a transaction in which we are recording bank card sales. Same situation as the cash sales. On December 15th, On Your Mark recorded bank card sales, $700 for the first 2 weeks of December, and sales taxes of $42. Also, tape 55. So we've got cash sales and bank card sales both being represented on the tape 55 source document. So the date, the 15th, document number, T55 for tape 55. Bank card sales is the account name. No post reference because nothing is being posted yet at this time. We have sales credit of $700. We have sales tax payable credit of $42. Here's the sales. There's the sales tax. Total cash received then, $742. Okay, so that's recording bank card sales. Now, other cash receipts, let's say, for example, that on December 16th, On Your Mark received $30 from Mandy Harris, an office employee. She purchased a calculator that the business was no longer using, receipt number 303. So in this case, this is going to be slightly different because in this case, we have the date of the 16th, we have the document number R303, receipt 303, account name, office equipment. So the first three steps of this transaction are similar to the previous transactions that we've already looked at. However, because office equipment is what is being sold, that's now going to be a general credit because it is not a sale, there is no sales tax charged, and it is not something that was sold to a customer. It is sold to an employee. Therefore, office equipment, general credit, $30, and the cash and bank debit, $30. So that's the transaction for that cash receipt. Demo problem 16.6, go ahead and give this one a try on your own. We will do this one in class next time that we meet. We will go through these 6 different transactions and properly transact them in the cash receipts journal diagram that is given to us in this demo problem. So go ahead and give it a try on your own if you wish. Otherwise, we'll be working on it next time we meet. Now, this is something that you have been introduced to, but we have not actually practiced yet. This is the posting to the accounts receivable subsidiary ledger. Remember, the accounts receivable subsidiary ledger is where all of our customers are kept in a subsidiary ledger so that we know how much money is owed to us by each individual customer. So the posting for this transaction would look like this. We would take the transaction on December 5th. We would reference the Casey Klein subsidiary ledger account in the accounts receivable ledger. We would then transact the transaction from December 5th. The post reference is it comes from Cash Receipts Journal, page number 13. The amount is credited, that's in the accounts receivable credit column of the Cash Receipts Journal, 212, and then the balance is updated. So this is the posting of a subsidiary ledger transaction in the accounts receivable ledger. Now, posting the general credit column. The last transaction that we transacted was on the 16th. It was R303 for office equipment. Post reference is general ledger account number 145. That's going to be placed in the cash receipts journal and in the general ledger CR13 for cash receipts journal, page number 13. The amount that we are going to credit is $30 to office equipment, and then we will update the balance. So that is posting a general credit transaction utilizing a general ledger account. Now, at the end of the cash receipts journal, we are going to do what's called prove and rule the journal. After we have transacted all of the transactions for the month of December, we are then going to add up and total the columns to determine that our debits equal the credits. So here's the sum of the general credit, sum of the sales credits, sum of the sales tax payable credits, sum of the accounts receivable credits, sum of the sales discounts debits, and sum of the cash receipts debits. If everything proves, your debit column numbers, which is sales discount and cash and bank, will equal the sum of your accounts receivable credit, sales tax payable credit, sales credit, and general credit columns. If the sums of those columns equal each other, then you have proved the journal. Remember, in terms of calculations, a single rule indicates calculations are going to take place. Then we calculate the column totals. Then we double rule indicating the journal is complete. You will put a check mark in parentheses underneath the general credit column because this $30 was posted individually. You will find out as we go through chapter 16 that these other columns are going to be posted as totals. We'll get to that in just a second. All right, so now we are going to post the totals. So the sales credit column, instead of posting each one of those transactions individually, we are just going to take the sales credit column total number and post it into the general ledger, which is going to be the sales account. That's account number 401. We'll see that on the next slide. We'll then take the sales tax payable total column number of $582 and post that into general ledger account number 220. We will see that on the next slide as well. The total of the accounts receivable credit, this is the general ledger controlling account of accounts receivable. This $7,001 is going to get posted into the accounts receivable general ledger account number 115. Post reference in parentheses underneath the total. The sales discounts debit is going to be posted in the sales discount debit column of the general ledger. And then finally, cash in bank debit of $17,283, which is going to be posted in the general ledger cash in bank account, $17,283, with an updated balance. Don't forget the post references, account numbers in parentheses underneath the column, and also the journal where the posting is coming from, in this case, cash receipts journal page 13, noted in the cash in bank and the accounts receivable controlling account accounts. Demo problem 16.7 takes us through practicing, proving, and ruling the cash receipts journal, as well as properly posting those transactions into the different ledgers. So go ahead and give this a try if you wish. Otherwise, we'll be working on it together in class next time we meet. Now, when we prove the accounts receivable subsidiary ledger, what we want to do is we want to make sure that the sum of all of the customers that owe us money equals the amount that we have represented in the schedule in the accounts receivable controlling account. So at the end of the month, the balance of the accounts receivable account, which is in the subsidiary ledger, balance of the accounts receivable, which is in the subsidiary accounts, the sum of all of those, to prove it, the schedule of accounts receivable, we have a report which is going to list the charge of all customers and the balances that they owe us, the total due from all customers. Once we have proven or we have put together our schedule of accounts receivable, we then check that number to see if it matches our controlling account balance number. So here's our schedule of accounts receivable. These are all of our customers here. This is what they owe us. This is the total that is owed to us by all of our customers. This number should match the account receivable controlling account posted number in the general ledger. If it does, we have successfully proved our accounts receivable ledger account to our schedule of accounts receivable. Those numbers need to match. If not, there's an error that needs to be addressed. Now, if there is an error, errors that you may find: failure to post a transaction to the subsidiary ledger, so double check to make sure everything's been posted correctly. An error in computing an account balance, so it might be something as simple as punching in numbers in a calculator incorrectly. Double check to make sure everything has been calculated correctly. You will not be able to tell if a transaction was posted to the wrong account. This is usually found when a customer receives an incorrect bill. So if we incorrectly charge a customer, they will notify us. We will then go ahead and take a look through our records, hopefully find the error, address the error, correct the error, and then send the correct invoice amount. So there's the subsidiary ledger and the transactions that are journalized and posted from the cash receipts journal. So please make sure that you review the slides as needed. Make sure that you get the notes down, attempt those demo problems, and I will see you next time we meet in class.